Welcome to Growing International, where you hear from educators like yourself, students, and experts in the field of international education on how to grow your study abroad programs and internationalize your campuses. I'm your host, Jody Littleton, a professor of communication and a study abroad coordinator for Parkland College. I couldn't do this show without the support of Parkland College, a community college located in Champaign, Illinois, as well as the Consortium of International Studies and Programs and the Community Colleges for International Development. Whew! With all that out of the way, let's get started. Hello, everyone. We're at the CCID conference in New Orleans. It's 2022. We are actually face-to-face today, which is great. And I am with Dr. Gina Antonacci. She is the Senior Vice President at the Humber Institute of Technology and Advanced Learning. And I have known about Humber for a couple of years now because they've been part of CCID. They are board members, and they've been doing a lot of cool stuff, and I thought you guys needed to learn about it. So Gina's just going to tell us a little bit, kind of give us an overview of what's going on.
Sure. Happy to do that. So first of all, Humber is located in Toronto, and we are an institution that consists of 3 campuses, one in North Etobicoke, which is the west end of Toronto, one in South Etobicoke, and then we have a brand new campus that we just started in downtown Toronto, and that's our International Graduate School. And that is a campus that is dedicated specifically to international students who come to Toronto to complete a graduate certificate. So there'll be students that will come to us with a degree already from another institution, usually from their home country. And we're really excited about that campus.
Wow. So you said that just got established.
Yes. So it opened, kind of opened. COVID sort of put a damper on our plans, but it opened officially January of 21. And so we had a few students that were able to come in country, and we expect that as things start to open up, we will be able to get the number of students in there that we had intended to. But it's entirely for graduate students, international students, and we actually went to New Zealand, we went to Auckland, and we went to the Eastern Institute of Technology, and they had a similar campus where they do the exact same thing, where they cater to international students, their graduate students. It's very much a flexible delivery format, and we really look at connecting the students with industry and business. And so there's a real focus on sort of building community within the students and then connecting them right from the moment they walk in to industry partners so that they can start working on, work integrated learning and thinking about, what their future might look like, whether it's in Canada or whether they go back home.
Sounds like a great program. So that's your new program.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about the established programs, because I said, I know you've been doing some fabulous stuff for as long as I've been in CCID.
Yeah, no, happy to. So international is a critical part of Humber College, and I think when we think of international, I think traditionally it is seen as sort of sitting apart from the academic division, and for us, we have worked really hard over the last few years to really integrate international into the academic division to ensure that everything that we do within international is really embedded in academics. And so we have both inbound and outbound programming. So we have about between 5,000 and 6,000 students that come to Humber every year. And we work really hard at ensuring that we create a culture that is conducive to international students. But we also work hard at ensuring that the campus is internationalized for everyone. It's not just about, internationalization isn't just for international students. It's about ensuring that all of our students that come to Humber leave with an understanding of what it takes to be a global citizen, what it means, some of the global competencies around understanding, various cultures. So we've tried to work really hard at integrating it into everything that we do. When it comes to our outbound activities, we all, I think, worldwide have seen that there has been a bit of a challenge with some of our outbound stuff. But in good times, we have, quite a number of our students that go outbound. One of the things that we did over the last 2 years during COVID is we introduced a COIL. And our COIL activities, what they did was they connected our students, our faculty, with international partners from all over the world. I believe we had something like over 300 international students that connected into this COIL program. And it was just so exciting because we used mentors, again, mentors from Humber and mentors from our international partners. And together, they mentored all of our students who were in teams, and what they did was they solved problems together. And it was a competition. All of the teams, presented their projects, and it was just such an overwhelmingly positive experience during COVID. And I really believe that we transformed the way in which work-integrated learning happens, because we recognize that it can happen internationally in a virtual format. But there was also this tremendous goodwill that, transcended Humber and included all of our international partners and students. And just to see, some of those sessions, it was life-changing, and it was required during a time when, we were all struggling globally to address and deal with COVID. But there was this little good news piece that came out of Humber for us, and it just really changed us. And I know that we will continue to do this far beyond COVID.
Yeah, that was really, I think, the silver lining of the pandemic. And I'm going to stop a minute here because we're going to drag in another person in this podcast. So this is Andrew Ness. And Drew, tell me your title again.
Yes, my title is Dean of International at Humber.
All right. So we have two wonderful Humber people here to talk about their programs. So either one of you, one of the things I've always been eyeballing is the summer programs that you have. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, I'd happy to. It's interesting. At an institution the size of Humber, there's tremendous entrepreneurial activity, and so we have a history where we've had disparate offerings, where you have a one-week summer language program, where you have a special course that's offered by the Faculty of Health Sciences. And the summer program started when we decided to bring the faculties together and see if we could align the offerings within essentially a block of time, 3-week block of time, and wrap around the offerings services like unified admission, unified marketing, social activities. And so really it was bringing together the offerings we had to start with, and then augmenting and providing opportunities for faculties to offer other types of options. But I think the icing on the cake for us, and so many times, and Jody, you think about how many times we use the term internationalization at home.
Exactly.
So many of our students really want an internationalized experience, but are constrained for a host of reasons. So we were able to work with our Faculty of Liberal Arts, which I think was kind of the secret sauce, where Humber students could participate in an intensive academic experience that was internationalized with people from around the world on our campus in a condensed way and earn credit. And those combination of factors, the sort of calendar alignment, the augmented offerings, the credit for Humber students, when they're brought in the aggregate, our first effort was 2019, it was a magical, powerful experience to have our students involved and have our international partners involved.
Give some more examples of some of the classes. I think you kind of mentioned some in general.
Oh, goodness gracious.
What about the faculty program?
Oh, gosh, sure. We provided a culturally inclusive educator certificate intensive program over a week. So 1 week of the 3 weeks we had faculty on campus. And we brought faculty from partners in Jamaica and Vietnam who had also sent students. But the idea was we were offering parallel professional development for faculty where they could bring together, and to some extent it's a bit of a learning lab because we have international students and Humber students there. And I should mention that Humber has a campus that abuts Lake Ontario. It was built in 1870. It was a psychiatric hospital that was turned over to us 30 years ago. It's stunning in terms of its old brick architecture, green spaces, walk to the lake. And in July in Toronto, it's sort of an idyllic spot where we could offer these student programs and the faculty programs in this integrated way. So it was tremendously exciting. We went online in 2021 before COVID, and we are coming back with a vengeance which in 2022 with a bullet, we're back in person. And again, the potential of students from all around the world. And Jody, you've maybe heard me use the term overland study abroad. We have such great colleagues and partners in the U.S., community colleges in the U.S. And we had 2 students from college, CCID College, come to join us in 2019. We had to wait. Now we're ready again. We're really hoping that CCID colleagues will be able to send some students because we think it's an enriched experience. It's safe. It is distinct. It is a different country. It's affordable. So, we're interested to see what that's going to yield.
Great. So, again, hopefully get a lot of U.S. students, but it's really open to everybody, right?
Everybody.
So
right, exactly.
you could be anywhere in the world and do this kind of study abroad, which is cool. And I love that. I mean, I love the fact that Canada is a different country and it's close, easy to get to. So hopefully I will definitely be trying to market some to get my students and faculty to come, because I really like that idea of the faculty. You're doing some kind of faculty training.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
internationalizing the faculty
right.
so they can internationalize their classes.
Right. And really creating communities of practice, right? Really connecting, as I say, connecting the academic engines, which is where so much innovation comes. We're so blessed to be able to provide that opportunity to bring faculty together. We know that from our partnerships. And it's such a pleasure to do that then with this beautiful platform. Toronto is a beautiful city. It's just very distinctive. It's culturally different, it's similar and different. And so to bring faculty in that context is exciting.
Gina, we kind of already touched on that role of internationalization in the academic context. Is there anything else that either of you want to say about that? I mean, it sounds like Humber's doing an amazing job with that.
Yeah, Drew, I don't know, do we want to talk about IDI? Because so much has been happening in that area, and just wondering if there's some areas that you want to talk about there.
You want me to? Or
I think I want to. You do such a good job.
Oh, gosh. So Humber's been committed to international development for a long time. And by that, commitment, what does that look like? Well, academic program, bachelor's degree in academic international development, a graduate certificate in international development, and started an International Development Institute a number of years ago. And had been successful at getting some programs funded by the government of Canada and other intermediaries. But in the last 3 years, we've really turned around the potential of the Institute. And I think it's an interesting story because there's so much of the work started internally where we really started to explain the intersection between development work and academic outcomes, between internationalization for faculty and students, intersection with curriculum, with subject matter expertise. But not only in the academic side, we worked with our finance department. So our legal department, here's where the contracts, here's how this works, with HR. So if we're going to fill out these project proposals, we're going to need a raft of job descriptions that are evaluated, and so build internal alliances who are, frankly, as much to do with the success of what we've done as anything else. So we were really prepped to then compete for some pretty major projects. And I think there's a lot of exciting ones, but the one that's about to be announced is a $4.9 million Canadian dollar, $4.9 million TVET reform project for the government of Bhutan. So it's part of bilateral relations between the governments of Canada and Bhutan, and the federal government has awarded Humber this in an unsolicited proposal. So we'll be working not only with the government of Bhutan, but with the Canada-Bhutan Foundation to reform curriculum, reform governance structures, integration, sort of connection between industry and curriculum, and also with the Asia Development Bank to fund equipment for the institution. So we're really thrilled. And we're just about to sign the contract in the next week.
Okay, well, I don't know if I should say congratulations or if I should wait.
I don't know how you say it. I don't know how you say it Bhutanese.
Probably by the time I get this podcast done, it'll be already.
That's right. I'm doing the calculation. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
And there's one thing that I'll say about IDI that really, enabled us to focus on our efforts, and that was recognizing that what we were going to specialize in is TVET reform.
Right.
That we were going to look for projects where that was an opportunity for us. And so, I think we really cut our teeth in Kenya, the project in Kenya, working with a number of polytechnics there. And it was realizing that not only did it enable us to support the other institutions that we were working with, but we also learned ourselves, because the things that we were teaching and the things that we were facilitating as we were, connecting with our international partners were the same kinds of things that we were working on ourselves. Mm-hmm. Things like gender reform, and how can we ensure that we have appropriate EDI policies and equity among our students and our faculty, looking at so many of these issues that are universal. And, one of the things we would always say to our partners is, we're in this for us too. Like, we're learning together. This is very much a journey that we're on together. And, that is something that we have looked for in our partners and partnerships, and it's something that will continue as we move into the Bhutan project as well. And that is that's a win-win, right? Mm-hmm. Because we grow and develop each and every time we engage in these projects.
Yeah, transformative student experiences and transformative faculty experiences. Of course, we want that for the folks we're working with, but we're seeing that at Humber. And we think about improving internationalization, sensibility, consciousness, opportunity. A rising tide floats all boats. And that is, we're doing this in these different ways. We're so blessed to be able to do this, and we're seeing results.
Yeah. And transformative for administrators too. Because
yes.
We have all learned so much in this process,
Sure.
right?
I remember you in Kenya.
Yeah. One of the highlights of my career has been the Kenya project and working there and working with the other administrators and some of the polytechnics that we're partnering with, and just to be able to have an opportunity to reflect on some of the challenges that they face, and realizing that yes, we face the exact same challenges. And it was such a reciprocal relationship, on many different levels. It was truly, a highlight of everyone, the students, the faculty, administrators, everyone that was connected. And we expect that we'll have the exact same thing in Bhutan. We're really excited about that.
Wow.
Yeah, and we have an amazing. You want to talk about Nalini? She's just unbelievable.
We're all going to wind up reporting to her. So
we're
going to be nice.
She's going to be our boss one day.
Nalini, she's visionary because she really understands the social imperative associated with the capacity development work we do. At the same time, she's brilliant at strategically connecting and bringing people together and really building compelling cases. In the same way, Global Systems Gap Challenge, which was powerful in terms of the offering in COIL, we've been very fortunate to have strong visionary people like Nalini, Andrade, and Rebecca Fitzgerald, who really craft these brilliant opportunities that are multifaceted. They're win-win in so many ways. The institution benefits, our students benefit, our faculty benefits, our partners benefit. There's so much resonance. It's a word I like to use. It just resonates in this really positive way.
Wow, that's nice. So, I think what you're saying is just really emphasizes how international education, bringing students from other countries to your campus, not only helps those students, but helps everybody, the faculty, the staff, it's just such a win-win situation. So that's amazing. And you guys are doing so much. I can't put it all on this podcast, I don't think. So one of the things I want to do is in the podcast description, I will put a link to the website, different, whatever links you want me to put, and contact information. So if people want to find out more and how maybe they can be partners with Humber, or send students there or send their faculty there, they can get in contact with you directly. So I wanted to close with, this audience is people in the international education field, people that do study abroad. What's one takeaway that you want them to have about Humber? If you could kind of sum it up you each can get one, I guess.
Okay. I'll go first because mine is related to an experience that I had recently where I was asked to work with another post-secondary institution in Canada that does not yet have any international students or has very few. Any they have are incidental. And when And it was the first time, when I was sitting and talking to them about internationalization at Humber, I really realized the depth and the breadth of international, and just how much, how far we've come, but also what it brings to the institution, and just how it can transform all of us, and how the impact of internationalization, it's almost, you can't buy it. You can't buy it in any way. You have to just feel it and live it and integrate it into everything you do. And I realized that as I was sort of mentoring this other institution to talk to them about how to begin it. And it was only then that I really realized, Drew, who we are and what internationalization means to us.
Yeah, right. That's so well put. So I'm going to leave you with 2 points, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to give you my thought, and then I give you an offer. All right?
Okay.
Okay. No, it's good. Okay, so, interacting with our colleagues at CCID, often we hear as Humber reps, oh my gosh, you guys are doing so much. We will never get there. And so what comes to my mind when you ask that question is 1,000-mile journey begins with one step. Everybody starts somewhere. We were exactly where you are right now. And I don't want anything we're saying to be anything other than inspirational. Anyone can do what we've done as things move along. And so Humber, we've been so fortunate in so many different ways to get to where we are. And I think it doesn't matter at scale. It doesn't matter about number of students. It matters that we're moving the agenda forward and we're committing to the body of knowledge that we all do. And so it's just to hope that people will find inspiration somewhere. And it doesn't have to be about scale. It has to be about moving it forward.
That's a good point. I mean, you can't compare Parkland is a different school than Humber.
Right.
You can't compare and say, oh my gosh, we'll never make it, because we can be successful in our own way.
Right.
And so that's a good message. I like that.
And my offer. So we would love to have you at the Global Summer School, and you could do a series of podcasts with our faculty who are doing that training. So we'll just leave that with you.
Okay.
We'll take that offline.
Ooh, okay.
But I'm thinking it could be an interesting idea if you want to come up to Toronto.
I would love to entertain that idea, so we'll look into that, okay?
Nice.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Anything else you want to, before we go?
Thanks so much. Jody, congratulations. I congratulated you before. I'm going to do it. It's just so important to have these conversations, and it's so enriching. So thank you so much for all that you're doing to move ahead the agenda we've talked about.
All right, well, welcome. Thank you, and we'll see you later.
Oh, thank you. This is wonderful.
Thank you for listening. I hope you got some good information from today's podcast, and you will continue listening to Growing International. If you have any questions, please email me at jlittleton@parkland.edu. I'm always happy to talk to you online, so please send me any questions that you have. Also, I hope you continue listening to this podcast. We are hosted on Podbean, and also we are now on Spotify and Google. So again, thank you so much, and catch you later.